Hey lovelies, it's Heather. Gonna go ahead and shoot this video. I tried to shoot one earlier before, like right after I woke up, but it ended up being over an hour and long, and so it didn't load, and I lost it and everything. I lost the video, so I gotta do one now because I want to stay with my goal of making a video every day. I'm just really tired. I'm going through a lot, like mentally, psychologically, emotionally, or whatever. I just get really irritated, like, and granted, it's the same things that, like, I've done before, or I might still be doing, or I did when I was a little kid, and so me getting mad at other people for doing the shit, it's like I'm being a hypocrite, but then I'm just like, damn, and I'm just exhausted, because people will just use the shit out of you, I guess. I don't know, like, I don't know how else to put it. They'll just, they think they can get on a coattail and ride it into where the fuck ever, and if they think they can do that, then for some god awful piece of shit reason they're gonna do it and everything. But I'm just tired of people's shit. Like, I'm tired of 2 and 3 questions about the same thing when I've already answered you, and you can't seem to hear the answer. Like, you'll ask me something, you'll say, hey, you like this? And I'll say, yes, and then you'll be like, are you sure? And then I'm like, yes, and then they're like, so you like this? Yes, I do. Well, why do you like this? Because I like it. It's just this constant beatdown of even just regular, simplistic questions and answers and stuff like that people just love to do, and it's just a manipulation tactic at the end of the day and everything. And even though I know that I do it, like, I even catch myself being like, are you sure? And it's like, yeah, and stuff like that. But usually though, actually, whenever I ask a question 2 or 3 times, it's because I'm fixing to actually joke around about it, like tease you about it or something. And I'm just kind of building you up to kind of pester you, so that way whenever I throw in the line, whatever the joke is, like, you're so already kind of riled up or whatever that you kind of find it funny. You find it funnier than you would typically, like regular jokes and laughter. But most people, even when I try to do that to them, because instead of them relaxing around me, even though I've done like everything I can, and I do everything I can to try to make people feel comfortable around me and shit, and yet I'm just always met with people that do not trust me, and then they sit there and they bold face fucking lie to me, and they're like, I do trust you though, and I'm like, and it just makes me so mad. It just makes me so mad. It makes me so angry, and I'm like, bitch, don't lie to me, like, just stop with your shit. Makes me want to beat some people's asses, in all honesty. I'm like, you don't fucking trust me. Don't you think I can tell you don't fucking trust me? Like, you can sit there and you can tell me you trust me all goddamn day long, but I ain't gonna believe it until I fucking feel it. And then I've been through so much in my life, like, it's just a given. It's just a fucking honesty. I was gonna get on here and bitch about some shit, and then I read this article, and that's one thing that I'm grateful for, is whenever I read articles and stuff, like, it's just so nice to have things to read. I think I'd rather read than listen to people. I've reached a point where I don't even want to fucking listen to people anymore, because I'm just tired of people's voices. Hell, I'm even kind of tired of my own, because I'm making these videos, but I like reading articles and stuff that talk about, like, coping skills, and how to handle things, and like positive things that I want to bring into my life, and stuff like that. But fuck. But yeah, I think that's it for this video. This is gonna be a short shit video, because I don't want to get out of this sleepy mode that I'm in. I've cried like 5 or 6 times today. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm just tired from it. And it's like the first thing that I actually cried about was somebody else's shit, you know, and me and my empathetic ways, I was just bawling my eyes out. And then, you know, I was like, why the fuck am I bawling my eyes out so bad for this? You know, like, I get that I am, and I get that it'd be bad and all this, but I think it was more actually dealing with the person per se that the incident actually happened to, and not the person I was talking to about the incident happening to, because this person I'm not, like, I honestly, like, if I could have what I wanted right now, like, legitimately have what I wanted, I don't even know what the fuck it would be, because my stability for me, not me as a person, but like anybody being stable for me in my life, like my mom, my dad, my grandmother, my sister, my exes, and all these people and everything, like, I can't even rely on fucking, if you've watched my previous videos, you'll see where I was talking to this guy a few weeks ago named Honest. I can't even rely on him to be the same damn, like, person that he was then. And even though, like, I get that, like, you know, there's no, dating-ish type feel to the shit anymore, it's like, used to, he would just talk to me quite often, you know, like, and, I mean, it wasn't always, you know, like, you don't get on the phone with people, typically. You don't get on the phone with them and talk to them for, like, 5 hours, or even an hour, which, granted, we never talked more than probably an hour a day or some shit like that. But you don't get on the phone with them and just sit there and, I love you too, I love you more, I love you, oh, I love you, oh, God, honey, I love you. You know, like, you actually have conversations, you know. It's like, so, what you been up to? What'd you eat today? You know, how you been? You know, like, it's, and I miss that. I miss that so much with people that aren't constantly in this state of, like, constant manipulation and rebuttal and deflecting and all this, that they can just have a normal fucking conversation without it being a manipulative source of them trying to connive something out of you. And even though, yeah, he was trying to connive me a few weeks ago, you know, he's trying to be all manipulative and sneaky, and then, you know, he thinks he got what he wanted or whatever, and I'm like, boy, you don't even know what the fuck you've missed out on, but okay, you're a kid. And then this other guy, Noman now, and I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? And I think, too, is bringing negativity into your own shit. Now, I've done it myself because I was raised by a family that I swear to God, I'd be like, I'm going to go outside and ride my bike. And it was like, well, don't wreck it. Well, don't fall off of it. There was the negative, you know? And so I grew up, and when I was a teenager, it was like, oh, I need to do this, but I probably fail at it. Oh, I need to do this, I'll probably suck at it. And hell, even when I went to go get my license in fucking November, Jennifer probably thought I was completely and totally fucking insane because I was driving her car up there. And then whenever the test day was, she's like, it's raining, they gonna let you take the test? And I was like, they better, I hope like hell. And I was like, let me drive it up there, that way I got the experience. More experience, you know, right now. Because I'd only drove her car like a few times to the damn gas station. And I was like, let me drive, you know, and she's like, okay, you know, and like, I sat there driving it, you know, and I just had to verbalize it. I couldn't keep it in because I know if I would have kept it in, that it would have ate me alive, and I probably would have failed my test, like, I'm talking horribly. Like, my damn score would have been 10 because my nerves, because of the shit that I've been through in my life. And so instead, I'm driving and I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, talking to myself like a fucking moron because Jennifer can't be what I need her to be, if you will, and I'm not going to be like, hey, let me mold you to help me out. Like, no. If somebody comes along that can help me out, that's just this great person, then hey, I'll, you know, of course, I'll fucking take that, but nobody's come along like that, and so she can't be that. She's got her own shit and ass problems. And so it's like, okay, I'm a big girl and I'm taking care of myself, basically. I'm just borrowing Jennifer's car to take the test. And I'm in the car and I'm driving and I'm like, I got this. And I'm like, I got this. I'm going to go up here. I got this. Granted, I haven't been up here in years. Granted, I've only been up here like 2 or 3 times to try to take my damn driving test. And they were all many, many years apart because my family's a piece of shit. And my family doesn't give a shit about me. And they don't give a fuck about me. And they don't give a fuck about me driving. And they don't give a shit about anything about me. And they've never gave a shit about anything about me. But instead, I am now, because of you, Jennifer, thank you very much, driving my ass up to go get my license, and I'm like, and even if I fail, it'll be okay. It'll be okay, even if I fail. So I'm going to drive up here, and I'm going to try to get my license, and it'll be okay, because even if I fail, that does not mean that I am a complete and total failure. That just means that I failed today, and Jennifer, you are not as shitty as my family, so if I fail today, and they're like, oh, you can't come back for a week, I'm going to go, hey, Jennifer, will you bring me back in a week? And you're going to be like, yeah. Or even if you're not like, yeah, you're going to be like, well, I can't this month, but next month. And you're not going to be like my shitty ass family and be like, I don't have time for like 3 to 5 fucking years. They never had time for me. And so I'm like, so it's going to be okay. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to drive and I'm going to be positive and and I was just like trying to talk, over myself, for the fucking fact of things, because I've never had anybody do that ever. Or if they did, it was shit. Like, it was my grandfather and he died when I was 7. So, I mean, you take 7 years, of occasional, because he was a man of few words, but occasional praises. He was never negative to me. He never said a damn negative thing to me at all. Other than no, when he meant no, like I'd ask if I could have some more cookies or something, or or whatever. He's like, no. And that's the only negative, and it wasn't even negative because you just respected it because it was him. Like, I respected him, I guess, and he respected me. And I was allowed to tell him no. Like, like, he'd be like, come over here, and sit beside me, and I'll be like, no. Like I'll be sitting in the floor playing or something, and he didn't get mad, and he didn't scold me or anything. It's just he wanted to spend time with me, and so he asked to spend time with me. And, sometimes I'd tell him no. And so it was okay for me to tell him no. And vice versa. Like, we just respected each other. We just got each other. And then I think I told him I loved him a few times, and I hope he'd get better when he's sick and stuff. But I don't ever remember telling him, like anything. And at that age, when you're that little, you don't know to like compliment people, especially if you're not getting complimented. And so I don't want to cry again, but if I do, oh well. But so 23, almost 20, it's gonna be 24 in a little bit fucking years of just the rest of my family. You're stupid, you're a piece of shit, you're this, you're that, And then I met my kid's dad, and it's like, oh, you're great, you're wonderful, you're amazing, and like, he did that for me. I ain't even gonna lie, but then it's like, all of a sudden, just one day, he just fucking changed, and he's like, oh, you're a piece of shit, and even though he didn't insult me a lot, but when he did, it just devastated the shit out of me. And then me and him split, and then I got with my husband, and my husband's like, oh, well, my dad taught me and told me that you have to keep a woman in check. So for every one compliment I give you, I have to give you like 7 insults. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, do you realize that if I would have known that about you, that there is no fucking way in hell that I would have married your stupid ass? And I'm like, you're fucking retarded for believing in that, and that your father's right on that behavior. And I was like, and for you to be as old as you are and not have came to that conclusion, and as many people as you've dated, and you've dated seriously more people than I even have, and by seriously, I mean people that you fucked, and you're telling me that you go around and you like keep a tally in your head of, hey, you're beautiful. And then it's like, your hair looks like shit. You look fat in those jeans, or God, didn't you sweep in here today? Or where's this at? Or these downgrading fucking things. So I just can't anymore. I don't even know if I want to be with anybody at all right now. Around anybody at all. I'm literally staying in my bedroom trying to hide from my grandmother to a degree because I don't even want to be around her because of the negativity that comes out of her. I can't handle anybody's negative shit. And so anyways, back to fucking numbing, hell, I always end up bitching. I sit here and say that I'm not going to, and then I do. But anyways, he just, he's dodging questions left and right. He's acting like he's not. He's acting like he don't know what I'm talking about. And he knows damn good and well what I'm talking about. And the thing is I guess that's like my dad, and I guess that's why, I give people like him chances. And honest. And my husband. And I don't know about my kid's dad. He's not that much like my dad. Because they say that you grow up and you find people that's like you, And the reason why is because even though my dad was bad and horrible and mean, he had goodness, or has had goodness. It's very rare, but it's there. And see, I think that's the thing too, is I think women are more inclined to look at guys, any guy. Most women are more inclined to look at a guy and see potential in him than a guy is to look at a woman and see potential in her. And I mean truly see it. But, my dad's the only lasting, I'll say. My dad is the only lasting relationship that I have with a male figure in my life. And even though he has treated me like dirt stuck on the bottom of his shoe, and he has been mean and cruel and abusive and neglectful and just downright demonically possessed, hateful. He is still my dad. He has still stayed married to my mom all these years. And he defends my mom with a furiosity that I have never seen any man have for any woman. It's almost like my mom's like a fucking I don't know what, because I don't get it. I don't get their marriage at all. Because he talks shit about her, he hates her, and everything else. But the moment anybody else says anything about my mom in a way that is hateful and trying to cause her harm or damage, even if somebody just calls her ugly or stupid, even if he's sitting right there and he himself just called her ugly or stupid, but you call her, even if you agree with him and you're like, yeah, she is, or some shit like that, he literally looks at you like he is going to murder you with his eyes, basically. And he will chase after you, and he will come after you, and he will, it's bad. And it's like, I don't understand what the obsession is, and all that and everything. other than maybe that's the only thing that God granted him with that was even a godly thing that he could live to fucking be or do that he's supposed to, biblically speaking. Because biblically speaking, men are supposed to protect their women. And he does do that, but only when it's outsiders, only when it's somebody. But now you can get in the car with him away from her, and he'll be sitting there shit talking her, and you can say something too, and he'll laugh and giggle and cut up and just keep on shit talking and everything else. But if you say it like around her or to her, he will attack you. Like, I don't know. I don't understand it at all. And my grandfather was probably even a little bit of the same way, from what I can remember. Because, see, that's the thing, too, like, that my mom said to me or whatever. She's like, well, your grandfather was only good to you. She's like, he was an asshole to everybody else except for you. And I don't know what the fuck to make of that. Like, sorry that I was born and he decided to be nice to me. But maybe it's because I actually respected him. And he might have once or twice, said something when I was real little, like, it took forever, like, for my hair to grow in. Like, everybody thought I was a boy for the first few years of my life or whatever. And, I think it's probably just stress, in all honesty. But anyways, so, like, when I was 3, like, I looked like I had baby hair, basically. Like, I had more hair probably on my head when I was younger than I did when I was, like, 3 and 4 and 5. But around 5, my hair started growing like a weed, and by age 7, I had my hair all the way down my fucking back. But, anyways, like, I don't know. Like, he might have said something like, hey, get over here, baldy butt, kind of like in a teasing mannerism or something like that once or twice in my life. But it was always when it was like huge gatherings, so therefore my dad was distracted and not around, for me to get like a ass beating for back talking, or some shit or something like that. And I would like smart off and be like, no, don't talk to me like that, or whatever. And he'd just kind of, and he'd be like, oh, I'm just playing with you, like he might have once or twice. I'm not saying that he did, but like there's something that's kind of like, pulling, making me think that that's a possibility. But I can't guarantee it, and stuff. But, like, I don't recall him ever saying a hateful word to me. And so it's like, oh, well, maybe I idolize him. Like, that's what I thought, well, maybe I idolize him too much, And that's what my mom tried to even say to me, and she tried to tell me that he had went to hell because I idolized him, basically. And this was after my friend had committed suicide, and, like, man, I just bawled my eyes out. And I remember my kid's dad, we was just boyfriend and girlfriend. I wasn't even pregnant or anything at that point in time. But I got out of the car and I couldn't even talk. I was crying so hard. And he's like, what's wrong? And I was just like, and everything. And he just looked at me like, holy shit, And then he kind of said, calm down, I can't understand you. And so I said it again. And he's like, oh. And he's like, she don't know what she's talking about. She's just mad, that you had 2 good relationships with people in your life, And he kissed my forehead, I remember, and he just held me, and I just bawled my eyes out. But, right about now, I feel like everything not everything, but that one sentence still sticks with me because it's not a sentence that I've never heard before. I've heard people, like, when I tell them stuff, they're like, oh, you've been through so much. You know, that was like when I was real little. You've been through so much. That's a lot to go through. That's a lot to go through. That's so much. That's so much. And then by the time I got 10, it's like, oh, you're fucking lying. Oh, you're lying. You're just a liar. There's no way all that happened to you. There's no way this. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. And this is like school kids and my peers and my friends, you know, and I'm just, so then it's like, well, fuck, I just won't talk to nobody about the shit then, you know. And then the shit just kept rolling in, basically. And now I'm just sitting here and I'm like, yeah, it is too much to deal with. And that's the reason I'm like, you know what? I'm fixing to shut down on everybody's ass and not have shit to do with nobody. Especially whenever the end of September rolls around and I'm done doing these videos and I'm like, yay, I reached my goal, da 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 da, blah 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 blah. And then I might literally throw this fucking phone away. There's no telling. Like, once I reach, you know, the limit of what I'd set for myself, or I have set for myself. There's no telling. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of a little excited. I'm a little excited to maybe throw my phone away. How fucked up is that? But that's how tired I am. But then, like, I don't know. I'm just so tired. And everybody's like, well, stop. You know, and all these, like, I'm not saying that it's like directed towards me. It's not like the level of paranoia where it's like, oh, gang stalking, oh, this and that, you know, but it's just the coincidental shit and the fact that my brain picks up on it and I see it. And then, like, the way that Facebook works and all this and everything. And so there's all this recommended shit popping up and everything. And it's like, you know, oh, I'm not going to say nothing. Oh, you need to write in a journal. Oh, you need to stop talking about it. Oh, you need to stop complaining about it. Oh, you need to stop this. Oh, you need to stop that. Oh, you need to stop. Do it this way. Do it that way. Don't you hate it when you give somebody advice and they don't listen to you? And bip, 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 you know? And I'm just like, fuck all of y'all. Do you realize how many years I have lived where I'm just like, I can't do what I want to do. But doing this, I can do what I want to do. And then for y'all to have the fucking audacity to come along and be like everybody else that I've ever known. And to try to tell me to not do what I want to do. For as far as just talking. Like, it's like if I could draw, you know, or whatever, it's like you would see the Joker step out of my skin right now. Like, basically laughing, you know, just kind of like, bitch, you know, like, not because I really think that you're a bitch or an asshole or something for that, but it's like you are not processing all the shit that I'm going through. And I'm the one having to process it. I'm the one having to go through it. You can't take my pain from me. You can't take my life from me. Yeah, you could kill me, but you still can't take my life and my experiences and my pain and my joys and my, you can't. Like, it's mine. It's my fuck, I can't think. I'm so tired. It's my weight to carry. It's my burdens to deal with. And so, that's all there is to it. So, but I'm done. I'm done with people's negative shit. Like, I'm so tired. And I'm so tired of people being like, yeah, you know, and like, I'm about done with anybody that ain't even like within a mile radius of my ass. Like, I'm about so fucking done because it hurts when you meet somebody and they're far away and they're like, hey, I really like you. Hey, this, hey, that. And you're like, okay. And you're like, that's nice. That's good. That's cool. Okay, you like me. And then you're like, no, you don't. And they're like, yeah, I do. And you're like, no. And then they do take the time to get to know you. And they do act. Did you just send that twice? Am I going to have to block you? Like, please tell me that was an accident. And then even at that, like, I know people have noticed that, you know, I'm letting people into my life, like Raz. There's this guy named Raz that's on an amino that I get on, and he's like, just shut them out, you know? And he's like, just, you know, don't talk to them and this and that. And I'm like, but you don't understand. I can't stop. It's like an addiction, but it's not an addiction as much as it is a soul purpose. I feel like it's my path to follow. I feel like I'm doing right when I do that. Not because of the fucked up shit I went through in my childhood where it's like, yes, be a people pleaser and kiss people's ass, you know, and read people's mind before they even know what the fuck that they want. It's not that shit. It's just, I actually feel happy, you know, and I seen this post or whatever. It was like, how do you feel happy, you know? And how do you feel happy, you know, in your life? By giving to people. So what can I give to people? I mean, yeah, I own material items, but nobody's coming to pick them up, and I'm not offering to give those away anyways because they're mainly, like, everything I own is my kids. And so it's like, what do I have to give? Okay, I have my time to give. So if I just sit there with you, but wait, I can't just sit there with nobody because nobody comes around, and I can't go just sit with somebody. So then, okay, how else do you spend time? Oh, through talking, right? Through talking, through conversation. So I actually feel good having conversations with people sometimes. Not all the time, because don't get it twisted. I'm an ambivert. I have my introverted days where I just shut the fuck down. And I will cut a phone off. I will not talk to a damn soul except for to cut it back on and make my video. Like, you don't even know, because I do take time to recharge and stuff like that because I get so exhausted. But I actually like talking to people. I like having conversations. I like getting to know people. I want to know your kid's name, your dog's name, your cat's name. I want to know about your grandpappy and your great grandmother and how they got married and they met. I like to hear the stories. The stories that nobody likes to supposedly tell or give for free or whatever. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I swear to God, like right now I'm sitting here and I'm like, I want to cry because I'm just thinking about my granny and my papa. Like, my other papa that died before I gave birth to my daughter, pretty much. He died in February, and then my daughter was born a few months later. But, because my granny, she'd sit and tell me stories, but she only told me like a few my whole life. And I always wanted her to tell me more, and she just wouldn't because she got so discouraged by her kids and her other grandkids by, oh God, we don't want to hear that. And so, you know, I had to pry it out of her and be like, yeah, tell me, you know. And then I remember being little, and there's actually this Montgomery Gentry song, I think it is, that it's like, what the fuck is the name of the song? Anyways, I think it's them. I don't know. It's somebody. But anyways, it talks about you sitting there, you know, in the floor, cross-legged in the floor, and you know your grandfather starts going on about his war stories, pretty much. And like, I remember being little and going over and seeing my grandfather and like him talking about things, you know, and like, I was just like, man, these people get me in this song lyric right here. I was like, that's exactly the way it was. And he had an old TV and it had a dial knob on it, like when I was real little. And I remember in the TV, and like it'd go off, like, and there'd be nothing. It was just blank. And then the commercials that would pop up and be like, it is 3 p.m., it is 5 p.m., it is 7 p.m., do you know where your kids are? And like, even seeing that as a kid, that kind of traumatized me some, because I'm like, wow, I thought my family was stupid to begin with because they don't know where the fuck I'm at, even if I'm sitting in the fucking floor 24/7. They'll holler at me and yell at me even though they've walked past me 8 times and be like, where are you? You know, and I'm like, I'm here where I've been the whole time. you know? And so seeing, you know, it's this time, do you know where your kids are? I was like, yep, we are all, like, this is literally what went through my head as a child. I'm like, yep, we are all being raised by morons. And then I realized, like, what year my dad was born, because he was born in the 60s, if you will. And then I realized about the hippies, and I was like, we all came from drug babies. Like, we're all drug babies. That's what went through my head. And I was just like, we're doomed. We're doomed. This sucks. We're doomed. Everybody was all about, you know, tripping on acid and what the fuck ever. And that's the reason they had to come out with these dumbass commercials. You know, this like, hey, it's this time. Do you know where your kids are? I was like, we're being raised by morons. But, man. And then my kid, like, and her getting taken from me by these people that's my parents. Like, I'm just like, this is so backwards. Everything is so backwards. And I've made references, many references about how I feel like I'm Alice in Wonderland. But now my daughter's Alice in Wonderland, and I even wrote that the other day. It's like, now my daughter is Alice in Wonderland because everything is backwards, you know? And now I am becoming the Mad Hatter, you know, like I need my hat to tip, you know, but it's like, because the Mad Hatter and her, you know, like, especially in the newer Disney, you know, they get along and everything. But that line, you know, hey, let me tell you something, you know, all the best people are crazy, you know, or whatever, or, you know, however he words it. Or do you know something, or let me tell you something. And she's like, what? And she's like, I'm crazy or I'm mad. And he's like, well, let me tell you, all the best people are. And that's like my kid. That's basically what was going on, you know, with my kid when she was home. It's like, you know, Mom, you're making me crazy. You're raising me crazy because you're telling me we are actually supposed to stand up to people that are doing wrong, regardless of how much trouble we get into. And I'm like, you're damn straight. That's how the hell you're supposed to do it. But again, it's Alice in Wonderland, and you're not supposed to stand up to people that treat you like shit. You're just supposed to let them do it, apparently. Society's just fucked, man. It's just fucked up. And then I sit here and I'm like, yeah, why the hell haven't I just became a drug addict or a fucking alcoholic or a goddamn prostitute or a fucking, you know, something not, I don't want to say horrible because I don't think horribly of those people, but they just gave up, you know, and I get why. It's so fucking hard. And that's the reason me and my kid's dad got along, like, and people are like, oh my God, you got along with him and he's a drug addict and all this. And I'm like, yeah, because even though I didn't take that path that way, we both came from such fucked up backgrounds, like backstories. And like, that's how the fuck we got along, is because we clicked. We got each other. It was like two sad souls coming together. And man, we came together at a perfect time. Like, that's what I feel like, because I guarantee you I would not be as well off as I am right now if it was not for me meeting him when I did. Now, our relationship and the whole gist of it, I don't know. But for as far as just me meeting him when I did, I would be more fucked up if I wouldn't have. And I believe he would have been too. So, but I'm going to end this video. Hope everybody's doing good. I'm going to get me some sleep. Keep putting your best foot forward. If you want to talk to me, you can hit me up on Facebook Messenger. And I would honestly appreciate it if you are somebody that watches my videos that could actually hold a decent conversation that's not, hey, where do you live? Hey, are you married? Hey, kids, you know, do you have a kid? You know, and stuff like that. Because you've watched my videos for starters, so therefore you might have a little bit of knowledge into who the hell I am, because I get tired of answering the same basic ass questions, and it makes me feel like I am on a ring around the rosy of some dating website type manipulation shit or something, and I'm just like, Can you talk to me? Can you be like, hey, let me tell you about my day until I get my fill of it? Because eventually, yeah, I'm going to get my fill of it. I'm going to be like, okay, I don't want to hear about your grandmama's, aunt's, baby's, cousin's, sister's, brother's, wife. Like, I'm done, you know. But I would love for somebody to be able to work in the art of distracting me when it's not a distraction to keep me from working on my own stuff, but it is a distraction for my time that I cannot work on things to be filled with. That way I'm not just sitting here kind of piddling, basically, because I can't do anything right now. I can't force my W-2 to come in the mail. I can't fly or ride my bicycle or, some shit to go do the things that I need to do. I don't have any money, so I can't, I'm just stuck. And I can't do anything. And the only thing that I could maybe do is I could maybe, find some guy to go hang out with that just wants to fuck, and I don't want to do that. Or I could go hang out with Jennifer, but then Jennifer has her own negativity type stuff that she brings into, and I got enough of that shit on my own. And what I mean by that is like, not negative stories. If it was just her telling me negative stories, then I'd be fine, in all honesty. So if you got a negative, sad story and you want to tell me about it, that's fine. But I'm talking about like the kind of like, backtracked kind of things or whatever, like when we went to the movies and like, just there's just been a bunch of shit, and I'm just like, I can't put up with this. Like I'm tired. I'm just tired, so I can't right now. But just to hear somebody's story. Just to hear a story. Like almost like a kid that needs a bedtime story, basically. So who can be my bedtime story? Seriously. Like really. Like legitimately. Because if somebody's like, oh, I couldn't do that, but I could bring back your grandparent to have them tell you, about the Great Depression or the this and that, man, I would fucking, oh my God, like I would adore that. Like, but damn it, I don't know. And especially like older people supposed to be able to pass you wisdom, and stuff. But unfortunately, most people have got wrapped up in the drama of the day and the now, and so therefore they just end up talking about the drama of the shit that's happening right now. Like, I'd rather my grandmother tell me about when she was 4 and 5 and 6 years old instead of her talk to me about what we're going to eat for supper, but she don't even remember what happened probably when she was 4 and 5 years old, or when she does, she just remembers bits and pieces, and then she acts like she gets frustrated, and she acts like she don't want to talk about it. Now, my other grandparents, when they were alive, they didn't give a shit. They'd talk about it all damn day long, to the point that you're like, this is mind numbing, and it's like, can you just stop talking about, you went up on the mountain, you're in the Air Force, and you seen something, and this other guy seen it too, and blah, 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 and and stop mentioning ghosts, and that's not ghosts, and that's the lights. Like, you're just like, it's a great story, but shut up. But right now, I would kind of pay for it if I could. I guess I just miss that. I don't know. But anyways, so I hope everybody's doing good. I'm gonna let you go. I'll catch you later. Take care. Bye.